to get rid of negatives very quickly. And if something hurts me, I get rid of it.
I'm tired of being humble. I'm tired of letting people think they got a chance. The tribal chief is head and shoulders above everybody.
Hey, this is the Turnbuckle King, Toss Ring Scandal here. Get the lights as you come to the locker room. It definitely is going to be air dirty laundry. Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon are going down. Vince McMahon faces Bombshell lawsuit over systematic SA of WWE Ring Boys. This is a new lawsuit that faced 5 former Ring Boys alleging SA cover-up in the 80s and 90s. John Doe won through 5 and filed a lawsuit against Vince. Linda, his parent company TKO Holdings, allowed a open rampant SA of Ring Boys at the hands of former Ring Crew Chief Melvin.
Legacy is intertwined with World Wrestling Entertainment, now faces a new wave of allegations regarding abuse. 5 former WWE Ring Boys have come forward accusing McMahon, his wife Linda, the WWE, and TKO Group Holdings, this is the league's parent company, of allowing former ringside announcer Melvin Phillips Jr. to use his position to exploit and abuse young children. Yeah, this lawsuit, it was filed on behalf of 5 John Does, alleging that Phillips would recruit young boys to work for him, helping him run errands to set things up for the WWE events. However, this was all allegedly in exchange. This complaint, I will tell you, has multiple facets to it. So we're going to first start by unpacking the accusations against Phillips. This lawsuit alleges, quote, Phillips' real motivation in luring the Ring Boys with the promise of gaining access to the popular WWE events was to... It goes on further to say, quote, Phillips lured and manipulated the young boys with promises of meeting famous wrestlers and attending the highly popular wrestling shows, experiences that were otherwise unattainable for these kids. And the suit even alleges that Phillips targeted young boys who were impoverished and, quote, even routinely traveled with them in plain sight, staying together in hotel rooms and driving in his car to WWE events. And there may even have been physical evidence of this, because the complaint argues, quote, at some venues, defendants even provided Phillips with his own private dressing room where he would use his own expensive video camera to film his escapades. It's even mentioned that a WWE employee surrendered a tape to the FBI, and that tape apparently contains some very disturbing material because according to the complaint, it says, quote, on August 3rd, 1993, the U.S. Attorney's Office acquired the half-inch videotape in which it's believed to show Phillips' unusual foot fetish. A review of the tape by NYO shows Phillips lying with, and the name is redacted, foot in crotch area for an extended period of time. And one particular part of this complaint that's really tragic says that one young boy was so traumatized by what had happened that he ended up taking his own life. In the lawsuit, it reads, the WWE reached a financial settlement with the young boy. He implored his brother to tell his story, and his last known words were, remember to tell them, the WWE and the McMahons, what they did to me. So the general theme here was the boys were given a job, they were given access to the WWE arena, all in exchange for involuntary favors. Now, what specifically are each of these alleged individuals claiming? Well, the first John Doe was 13 years old when he met Phillips in the 80s, where he says Phillips rented a private room inside of the Springfield Civic Center arena after offering him a job there. He says the abuse spanned multiple states where he would travel with Phillips, that he would be given alcohol and hush money. John Doe number 2 was also 13 years old when he met Phillips in 1984 in an event where he claims that Phillips invited him to a dressing room and then wrestled him to the ground, touching him inappropriately. He said that Phillips would pin him to the ground so that he was unable to move while he violated him. In fact, there's actually a photo of this young boy being pinned to the ground by who appears to be Phillips. It's embedded in this complaint. John Doe number 3 states he met Phillips in the mid-1980s when he was approximately 14 years old and traveled with him to Philadelphia for a show at the Spectrum Arena where they stayed at a hotel. It was there, he says, where he was in a similar fashion, pinned to the ground and touched inappropriately. He even says a wrestler approached him and warned him, be careful around Phillips. Before, met Phillips in the 80s when he was around 14, and he says that he was picked up by Phillips, driven around Philadelphia. You have two confidential witnesses who were listed in the complaint. They allegedly saw this fourth John Doe leave with Phillips, return sometimes drunk, or leave and stay with Phillips overnight at a hotel. And this fourth John Doe also alleges that he was sexually at a WWE show at the Spectrum. And then the fifth John Doe met Phillips around the age of 15, was taken to a WWE event at the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland. He says he was forcibly intoxicated and then taken to a hotel where he was touched inappropriately. So with all of these horrifying allegations...
Man, did you guys hear that news of all these allegations? What's crazy is Vince McMahon had found out about this stuff decades later, and we first heard this became public in 1992. It led to firing of Phillips and Terry Garvin, who's also mentioned in the suit as a you-know-what. The current lawsuit explains that the only survivors only recently learned about the extended McMahons and WWE's public knowledge regarding it and how they allegedly covered it up. Vince McMahon is already in enough doo-doo, as is, literally, no pun intended, but this is not making his case look any better. Now that Linda McMahon, they said a report about her, she's been covering up stuff too. They said she knew all along what was going on, and this may even put her down there with Vince. So I say her and Vince are both going down in this whole situation of the SA of the Ring Boys back in 1992. So this is not looking good, guys. It's only going to be more updated. I know the attorneys and Janelle Grant respond to this and everything. That's currently on pause, so we definitely got to remember that too, as well as other stuff going on with Vince McMahon. So this is only going to get worse and worse and worse. Vince McMahon, I hope you got the best lawyers in the world, and even that may not even save you out of this whole situation. Man, but it's sad that these boys were treated this way, and it's sad for the parents if they pawn their kids off to this. You never know. They call it Hollywood for a particular reason. But this is, I don't know. You guys let me know what you think of the situation here. It's just not getting any better for Vince McMahon at all. You know, we thought things would simmer down with him, and maybe he get himself out this whole situation with Janelle Grant. But it's just one thing after another and one thing after another. It's like a domino effect. It kind of reminds me of the Diddy situation, except Vince McMahon is not in a prison as of right now. And we don't know what's going to happen later on as well. So that's the only thing we got to keep in mind. We got to pay attention to that. And we got to pay attention to how much more stuff is literally covered up with Vince McMahon. We hear hush money. We hear everything regarding this whole situation. So you guys keep your ears out. I'm never going to keep my ears out about that. So Vince and Linda are going down together. Not good for Linda, and especially not good for Vince McMahon. You guys check out the links in the video soon.